edition, and I am here with my friend Brian Reyngoudt from Operation K9 Beethoven. Such an important, impactful, and amazing organization. Bri, it is great to see you helping our veterans one paw at a time. This, by the way, is Rosie, my dog. She'll be in the Zoom for as long as she can handle it. Rosie will not be joining the Operation K9 Beethoven crew because you have a very special need for these amazing dogs. And the work that you do is impactful, incredible, and so needed. So welcome to the Carr Stereo Podcast. I also would like to do a little reset for some of the people listening and watching today. Talk to me about Operation K9 Beethoven, what the mission statement is, and how you came to form this incredible organization. You are the founder of Operation K9 Beethoven.
Co-founder, yes.
Co-founder with your partner, yes.
Yes, co-founder. He'll get mad at me if I say yes, I'm the founder. But no, thanks so much for having us, Terrie. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you and talk with you, especially with your little puppy right there. We found Operation K9 Beethoven with the dual mission to help our veterans and active members of the military one paw at a time. And, so far to date, we've got 26 dogs with veterans and active members of the military. And it's our goal to let our veterans, our American heroes, active members of the military know that we exist. And by doing this, talking on your show and many others, it's our goal for our veterans and our active members of the military to go to our website at operationk9beethoven.com, where they can apply for a free psychiatric service dog at no charge to them. We're a 501c3 non-for-profit in the great state of New Jersey. And, we don't want to take any money out of their pockets. So all the money that we make with merchandise sales, with donations goes right back to our program. We're all volunteers. And the breakdown of costs, it's about $10,000 per dog, and it may exceed that, right? So, the breakdown of those costs, it's adoption fees depending on the shelter or the rescue and what their initial care for the dog is. And then we got our veterinarian fees because we want to make sure that, these dogs are healthy so they're able to perform and be able to be trained to be the best psychiatric service dog they can be for their forever veteran. And then, along with those fees, it's also the training fees. The training fees, are the biggest part of our $10,000 right there. And so training fees always, are expensive. And we work with a great trainer named Frank. He owns a great training facility in Caldwell, New Jersey, and River Ridge, New Jersey, called Behavior Plus. And so, with all that being said, training is very important. Those who get accepted to our program, they go training together. So they're bonding together. So once we figure out and get what their lifestyle is, from that moment, Frank will call the person and get a kind of a good idea of what their life is like. Do they want to take the dog to work? Do they want to take the dog hiking, fishing, walking, whatever their lifestyle is? Frank will do the best he can, and his staff, which is amazing people. I've got to meet them and got to know them over the last several years or so. And so they'll do this amazing training together so they can bond together and be as one. Training never stops. You always have to keep on training these dogs to keep them up on their toes or on their paws, so to speak. So, once all that process of filling out your application, having the phone interview, us getting to know them getting to know us, and then it's full on. The training begins. And there's no timetable really with training because training is always happening. You got to want to do the homework. You're taking on a responsibility. It's saving your life, but you're also saving the life of a beautiful animal, a dog. And so, we work with our rescues. We work with the Bergen County Animal Shelter in Teterboro, New Jersey. We work with the New Jersey Boxer Rescue. We work with the Golden Retriever Rescue. So we work with a bunch of other rescues, to just name a few. I don't want to go through the whole list because I don't know how much time we have. But Operation K9 Beethoven, it's all about giving back to those who have done so much for us, Terrie.
Yeah. What is the difference, Brian, if you could clue me in between a psychiatric service dog and a therapy dog? Because I know that you guys also do therapy visits. People can actually hit you up if you want to request a therapy visit with a veteran, which I think is so important.
Yeah. So
to
we,
let people know that they're not forgotten, and people harken back to a time that they spent with their dogs, and maybe they can't have dogs now, and it just
Mhm.
means so much. So talk to me about the two different bridges that you guys are merging with those two things.
So a big shout out to our therapy dog team. Amazing people. They work 4, 5, 6 days a week, but they're always making time. They have a therapy dog, which they provide comfort, emotional support to people in many group settings. We also have a great dog named Duffy, who is deaf. And so we bring him to deaf schools so that we can show those students that not only human beings can have a disability and live a beautiful and wonderful life, but an animal can also have a disability and live a beautiful and
It's
wonderful life.
so relatable. I mean, it's just so incredibly relatable. Imagine being a child and an animal relates to you in such a way where you really feel that connection. I mean, I think that's absolutely incredible. And I follow you guys on socials, and I get to see the amazing work that that dog does and how much he means
Yeah,
to the people that are affected by him.
it's along with all the other dogs that are therapy dogs, the most important thing of it all is they bring so much love. They bring comfort. We go to nursing homes, we go to rehab centers, we go to Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, we go to VA hospitals. I mean, this kind of really started with Operation K9 Beethoven with me meeting Arpie Cortez. And my parents were selling their house, and my father was in the Paramus Veterans Home in Paramus, New Jersey. And my mom at the time, after 40 plus years of memories, the good, the bad, the ugly, she was a little depressed. And, I grew up with dogs my whole life. And so when I first met Arpie, we were giving him some like kennels and some other stuff because we had dogs growing up and we didn't want to put that to waste. So we wanted to donate it. So my brother reached out to someone that he knew, and that person reached out to someone that Arpie knew, and he came and he picked it up and he had Beethoven with him. And he promised me right then and there that day that when he was able, he was going to go visit my father at the veterans home and bring Beethoven, who's like the CEO. He's the boss. He writes the checks, and and he made that promise and he honored that. And he called me one day and says, "What floor is your father on? What unit is he on?" And I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, Dad, you're going to get a special visitor." And he goes, "Is it you?" I said, "No." He's like, "Oh, I really was in the mood for pasta vajul soup." And then, so about an hour or two later, I called my father. I said, "Hey, I know how was the visit?" And he goes, "It was the best wake up call I ever got because I was taking a nap." And Beethoven just jumped, and Beethoven's right over here. That's Beethoven looking over my shoulder, making sure I'm doing a good job.
Wow.
And so, you know,
What a majestic,
yeah,
beautiful, incredible animal. And that's, I'm so happy that you reset, because I knew the story, and I'm so happy that you reset that story because it was so impactful for you as an individual that you rolled up your sleeves and you started this great organization that you guys got together and said, you know what, let's start a great organization, which, by the way, since we spoke last time, which is probably a year, maybe a year and change, I don't know the exact date
yeah,
when we zoomed last time, you guys are growing by leaps and bounds. I'm
yes.
noticing so many new things on your website. You are always busy. There are events. There are things happening in the community. There's a lot more awareness for the organization. So, talk to me about the expansion that you've done. I love that as soon as you go to the website, you guys are really promoting the Veterans Crisis Hotline, 988, press 1
hmm
for people who really need some help. So talk to me about the expansion over the past just year alone.
The expansion is because of our great director of operations, Maureen. I mean, she's always posting. She's always on Instagram. She's always on TikTok. She's always posting on Facebook. Around the holidays, what dogs can't eat, what dogs can eat. She's always, posting all these fun facts. Foods that are harmful to animals and dogs, particular, of course, because we're a dog, organization. But it really is her. I mean, I send her some stuff here and there, but she's always, making posts, scheduling those posts, and then she's also putting it on our website as well. And
Smart
yeah,
lady,
and
all of that relatable content that
yes,
people can see and then develop an appreciation for what the organization does. I love
Yes.
that. So excellent that you have somebody like that in
Yes.
your wheelhouse.
She's you know she's the glue that keeps me and RP together because she's the referee, unfortunately. And so sometimes we'll have a little argument, and she's the one who has the, women have the calm, cool, all right, guys, relax. Let's just
I
talk
love that.
about it, talk it out, and sometimes I feel bad because we do drive her crazy. We do drive her crazy, but that's how, and going on shows like yourself, going on podcasts, getting the word out so that your listeners know that maybe they didn't know that this something existed in the metro area, New Jersey, New York. And really, from us, it's about getting the word out, letting people know what our mission is and what our purpose is, and helping our veterans, active members of the military, one paw at a time.
So when you're recruiting dogs to come into the program, do you have an overabundance of dogs that, because it's difficult. You've got to find the right dogs who have the right temperament, who have the right mindset. Then you've got to invest in those animals. Again, we talked about how much it takes to vet the dogs and train the dogs. This is not necessarily a cheap undertaking. So when you're looking for a dog, talk to me about how a dog gets to the next step to maybe become a dog to be part of the Operation K9 Beethoven program.
So when we have our applicant and they apply, we get to know what their lifestyle is. The temperament is the most important thing out of it all, is temperament. And all the trainers and especially Frank will say that dog has to be calm, cool, collective. And then from that moment, we'll talk about with Frank and myself and RP and Maureen, and then we'll throw some fillers out there to like Bergen County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center. We work with a great director there named Bob, and they'll talk, and we will kind of get an idea of what he has available. And then we do the same when we reach out to our other rescues as well. Hey, this guy is 50 years old. We give them a little rundown of what they want. That
more active, less active, looking for a couch potato guy,
exactly.
who a person who really gets a lot out of physical exercise is going to need something more than somebody who says, I'm really not into the physical exercise. I just need the downtime. Everybody's different. Yeah. This is a very specialized thing that you're doing.
Yeah, and we work with people who are younger and older. So we have applicants, veterans, and active members who are older, and some are younger. And so we try to. It's really important that we get their lifestyle and what they're all about. We've given dogs to older gentlemen who just want to be able to maybe walk the dog around the block. They want the dog to like sit on the couch. They just want that, that animal to be there for them, and to give them love, to give them comfort. And, we touched on what the therapy dog team is all about, and now I just want to, like, the service dog part of it is they're trained to, perform a special task for one person with a disability. Is it physical, psychiatric, guiding someone who could potentially be blind, which we haven't done yet. And they're legally allowed to go anywhere in public. And so they're working dogs, and, they're there to, help our veterans, our active members of the military who suffer from PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
You guys have been getting out into the public too, doing some cool events. I know October seems a while away, but you've got a big Tricky Tray event coming up.
Tickets are on sale now. And so you can go to OperationK9Beethoven.com. You can go to our Facebook page. You can click on the link if you want to come. It's a great Tricky Tray.
Now, this is like probably your biggest fundraiser.
It is one of our biggest fundraisers that we do. And so, we have a Tricky Tray, about 120 to 130 prizes. We go from medium, large to big prizes. And so all that money that is raised goes right back to the program. We have food, we have a great time. It's, we always have it at the Saddlebrook VFW, post 3484.
Perfect.
They've always been a huge supporter. I'm a member of the auxiliary. And so everybody at the auxiliary, they've been with us since the very beginning, as well as like some other great supporters, like the Bergen County Harley Davidson people. And they've been a huge supporter of us since day one. And we do events with them. And we also work with another organization called Warriors Run. And then, so, getting to know all these people, and it's organizations like that also promote what we do. and they'll have fundraisers for us, or we'll go to a bike run and we'll sell our merchandise, and we just got challenge coins, and that's selling really well. These little challenge coins right here, I'll actually show you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's these little coins. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Yep.
and a little, and it it has our logo, and it's Operation K9 Beethoven, serving those who served, and it's helping veterans one paw at a time. I don't know,
Which is your mantra.
Yeah.
Which is your mantra, and this is what the grassroots organization started out doing, has grown exponentially, and literally it has been one paw at a time, which is incredible. If people want to request a service visit, what is that like for you? Can they hit you up via the email address or the website?
The website, you can go on our website. If it's a school out there, if it's a veterans home out there, if it's a nursing home, a hospital, they can definitely go on our website, and they can go to the little make a comment or ask a question tab. And that'll go into conversations, or they can just go to the website and fill out the application, and somebody will reach out to them and get the idea of where the school is and what have you. And like I said, I was checking the calendar. We have our own calendar. We have our therapy dog calendar, and we have the Operation K9 Beethoven calendar. And I was looking at it today. It's amazing that all the members of our team with the therapy dog teams, they're all over the place. They're traveling, they're working, but they're also so committed into, spreading the word of the therapy dog team, but also spreading the word of the psychiatric service side of it. So, they're all volunteers, and they do amazing work with their own personal dog. And it's great because, I've gone to some visits, and, especially at the veterans home or the hospitals and what have you. And they don't know our name, but they remember that dog's name.
No question. Question. Yeah, that has to be so impactful for you to see the beauty that you're bringing to the lives of people, and of people who are just so deserving. Well, let me ask you this, because we're certainly in a very different situation in the country than we were last time we spoke.
Yes.
And I think your service is going to be more needed now than ever. I think for our veterans who are seeing news footage and hearkening back to a time in their lives when they were in the middle of the things that they're seeing now. So talk to me about how you're feeling about that, and what you think this next phase of Operation K9 Beethoven is going to be in a very different time from when you started the organization.
We want to help. And, the world has changed. It's changing every day. And, hopefully, our veteran or our active member of the military have thought about getting a psychiatric service dog. Apply. Just apply. We'll walk you through it. We'll hold your hand through it.
What if people think oh, this could never happen for me? Because sometimes you feel like you always think, oh, this is great for someone else, but it would probably never happen for me. What you're saying, Bri, is take that first step. You need us. We're here for you. Take that first step, and we'll walk the journey with you, right?
And we'll walk the journey with you, and we want to be a part of your family as long as you want to be a part of ours. And, just do it. Take that step. Take that leap. It can change your life. I speak with some veterans that, we've given dogs to, and it's completely changed their life 100%. We have a veteran who lives down in Toms River. We gave a dog named Clementine to, and he never went out prior to having Clementine. He didn't go to Home Depot. He didn't go to Walmart. He got everything delivered in. And then once he got Clementine, he was going to those places. He was jumping his truck and going to Home Depot so he can get stuff so he can work on his farm. And he has, speaks to Maureen a lot and says, this has completely changed my life. It's been a blessing. It's amazing how these animals can do so much. And, we also have another gentleman named Scott who has a dog named Neil after my father in his memory. And
yes, Neil, he's so cute. Oh, I love Neil.
I love him too. Goofy, just like my father was.
Big goofy doggy. He's
but
so cute.
And Scott says, says the same thing. It has changed. It has changed the directory of my life. And, you know, he recommends, Tony recommends, the veterans that we have, given dogs to, they recommend to their fellow veteran, their fellow active member of the military to take that step and to apply. So if there's any listeners or any viewers that is watching this right now, give us a call. If you have questions, we'll answer them. If we don't have the answer, we will find the answer.
Find the answer.
Go on our website, read the testimonials. We have many videos on YouTube, where we talk about Operation K9 Beethoven, and just take that extra step because we want to help you. And I know our military personnel, it's hard for them to ask for help because they're going into situations that we can only imagine, Terry. And so I get that. I mean, my father was a veteran, 68, 69, 3-time Purple Heart, Vietnam. It was hard for him. It was hard for him to ask for help because he was always helping. He would take the shirt off his back for you. He would give you his last $5 out of his pocket. So I get that. I grew up with that, but, I want the viewers and the listeners who maybe know somebody, say, hey, take a look at this website, or hey, take a look at this video that they did. This could really help you in the long run. We want to save both lives one pull at a time.
It starts with an email, a phone call, a social media message. I love that. And you made such a good point, too, when you were talking about veterans that you've helped that are leaving their houses finally and going here or there. There's nothing better than a dog to connect you with your community.
Yeah, because it rebuilds.
I know my neighbors not because they like me. They don't give a crap about me. I know my neighbors because of their dogs and my dog, and this is what connects people.
Yeah.
There's a very magical thing that happens, when we get out there with our dogs. It's such an easy way, easy way to make friends. Yeah, and absolutely. And you don't have to do anything. People approach you. And I think that that's such an important point. And you are bringing that to people. I mean, bringing friendship and community, which is just absolutely incredible.
As a dog lover yourself, you know that, dogs help people in general. They, and they're going to help our veteran. They're going to help our active member of the military. Dogs help, rebuild trust. They, transition back into civilian life. Like all they want to do is be loved, and they will give you love 10,000 times more.
Yeah.
Multiple times back, and like you said, like my neighbors, where I work, the neighborhood that I work in, I walk down the block, I see the dog. I know the dog's name, but can't remember the human being's name.
Me too. Guilty.
And
guilty is charged.
I am so bad with names. I really
guilty is charged. I can remember a dog from 20 years ago. A person I met yesterday. I'm like, "What's your name again?"
Yeah.
They have that magical quality. It's funny. I had a crap day yesterday. All I kept saying, I'm in the car and I'm like, I just want to get home and see Rosie. I just want to get home and see the dog. There is that feeling that we have when we're around our dogs, and the feeling that our veterans have when they're around their dogs. I can only imagine. I wanted to let you know this too, because now that we are out of the winter, hopefully, or coming out of the winter of our discontent, this crazy winter that we've had, I'm going to start doing and being at some pet events. So you always have an open invitation. You don't have to let me know, but you have an open invitation if you ever want to have a table or come out and hand out some literature or come and intermingle with a lot of the shelters that I'll be working with. Please note that anything that I can do to help you with your mission, because every step that we were talking about, you realize how it takes a village. You're talking about you guys, and you're talking about your social media manager, and you're talking about the trainer, and you're talking about the shelter groups that you work with. So there are so many pieces to this puzzle. So please let me know how I can be a piece of your puzzle and help you out.
Absolutely. It takes a village, as they always say. And we love what we do. We're bringing smiles to people's faces. We'll also, smiles and the happy tears of happiness. And so it's been a great ride so far.
Yeah, it's been a fabulous journey. And I think it's a journey that has only just begun. You are doing such incredible things. And please keep me posted. We've got to do follow-ups. I would love to do like a monthly or every couple weeks, like a follow-up with you guys on what's happening, what you guys are up to, what your needs are, and how people can get in touch. So give us the 411 on how everybody can get in touch with you.
All right, you want to make a donation? You want to sponsor a dog, which is always great. Sponsor a dog is $10,000. I mean, and like I said, some cases that may exceed that. But if you want to buy our merchandise, go to operationk9beethoven.com. Our store is there. We have hoodies, we have T-shirts, and maybe down the road we'll have some more T-shirts made. With different logos and different stuff. We're always trying to reinvent that, kind of get new things out there as we go. Listen, if you can't help by donating, every little bit counts. It could be $5, it could be $10, or it could be $10,000. But also, too, share our content. Go to our Facebook page. Go to our, social media pages. Share it. By you sharing it and maybe 3 other people also sharing it, it might get into the hands of someone who really needs a psychiatric service dog, or it may get into the hands of a guidance counselor who maybe wants to bring the therapy dog team in, so the therapy dog team can come in and do their thing. So, everything, like you said, is on our website, our Facebook page, operationk9beethoven.com, helping veterans one paw at a time.
Brian, it is always such a pleasure to catch up with you.
So it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I feel so invigorated after I chat with you too. It's just a beautiful feeling and an amazing mission that you are on. And I hope to see you in person soon.
Absolutely. We have to meet. Zoom doesn't work all that great. But where without giving it out, but like, what are the locations of where you're like, where in Jersey is going to be your event?
Oh, my event is at Longevity Veterinary Center on Route 10 in Whippany. So we can let everybody know. And it's Sunday, May 3rd. And that'll be my first, I think my first pet event, unless I schedule something before that. But it's going to be an awesome event. It's a Rocktails event. We're going to have all of our shelter groups out. Some really super cool vendors. So just announced it. Information is on my website, terriecarr.com, if people want to check it out. And it's always a fun day to support animal rescue. Longevity is a beautiful, wonderful place. They do great work, and they're always looking to be a part of the community. So if there's a chance that you guys,
I will try to
get a table booth set up for you.
Please do me a favor. Send me the flyer. Email me the flyer.
You bet.
And I will make sure that Maureen gets it, and we will also advertise it on our end as well.
Thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome, Mr. Terrie.
And we will chat soon. I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to take you up on that. We need an Operation K9 Beethoven update, please.
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready, you let me know.